The following video and continued growth of this channel are made possible by your support over on patreon.com/616entertainment. Sign up today at any level you choose and help bring these brand new projects to life. Or if you're looking for a brand new t-shirt, maybe stop by prowrestlingtees.com/616entertainment. I got you covered. In 1979, Ridley Scott's Alien hit the big screen, terrifying audiences around the world. In space, no one can hear you scream. What an amazing tagline, right? Sigourney Weaver's portrayal of Ellen Ripley immediately thrust her into the Final Girl Hall of Fame. 7 years later, the xenomorphs would strike again. Aliens, this time directed by James Cameron, upped the action factor. It raised the bar on... it raised the bar on everything. More guns, more aliens, a big badass fight pitting Ellen Ripley in a goddamn mech suit versus the alien queen? Come on. It doesn't really get cooler than this. Or does it? The very next year, a new otherworldly threat would arrive. This time, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura, and more would go to war with an alien invader known as the Predator. A sequel, Predator 2, put Danny Glover across from our big game hunter in 1990. At the end of the movie, Glover's character boards a Predator ship. What does he find in the trophy case? Oh my goodness. Now make no mistake, Alien and Predator fans had put their fantasy booking caps on and imagined what this colossal showdown might be like from day one. But now, obviously the movie studios had joined them. Who the hell wouldn't want to see this? The aliens travel in packs, they bleed acid, they're relentless beasts. The Predator is strapped with weapons and technology from head to toe, specifically designed to eliminate anything that gets in his way. What's funny is that the comic book industry was way ahead of everybody. In 1989, that's nearly 2 years before the premiere of Predator 2, Dark Horse Comics released the first ever official Aliens vs. Predator story. So cool. Kenner, one of the kings of licensed toys back in the early 90s, delivered an action figure 2-pack that still knocks me on my ass to this day. Look at this. Oh, that's awesome. Now, if you're like me, you want to see your favorite properties in video game form. Yes, I'd like a wrestling game, please. A Batman game? I thought you'd never ask. Now, we'd had Alien games and Predator games at this point, all of varying degrees of quality, but never one pitting these two sci-fi behemoths against each other. That's where it would all come together, right? Maybe the individual releases aren't great, so what? Alien vs. Predator would be amazing. It had to be. In 1993, our dreams would become reality.
Alien, Predator, sci-fi's baddest boys together at last with a little time to kill.
Oh my god. It was finally here. Alien vs. Predator on Super Nintendo. Oh, what's up, Dan-Dans? My name is Ian, and I want to say right at the top, thank you very much for watching this video. This is a retrospective that was funded and made possible by all my supporters over on Patreon. Now, this is just one of the goals that was on that list, and we have a number of other big videos to unlock, so if you enjoy this video and you're not signed up yet, think about it. We can get a whole new batch of retrospective goals on that list once we clear these out. I'm very grateful to have you in my corner, and I'm very excited to get into today's video, so let's get to it. This Activision-published beat-em-up puts players in the shoes of the Predator, and it's our job to wipe out the alien infestation on the planet Vega 4, this game's setting. And the action doesn't just start up without any context. No sir, there's a whole ass story cutscene right here at the top. The year is 2493, and a crew of unlucky construction workers drilled just a little too deep, uncovering an ancient horde of xenomorphs. The citizens of Vega 4 plead home to Earth for help, and their call is caught by a wayward Predator ship. Aliens, you say? Predator is like, let's fucking rumble, and that's that on that. The war is on. Alien versus Predator. I now have the very unfortunate responsibility of revealing to you that this game sucks. Oh my god, it sucks, and I can't believe it. How can Alien vs. Predator suck? How? Let's talk about it. We play as the Predator. That's awesome. We've got power-ups in the shape of the plasma caster, or the shoulder cannon, whatever you want to call it. The smart disc, the throwing spear. We can even cloak and go fully invisible. This is all cool so far, right? The aliens come in all shapes and sizes, from the standard xenomorph drone to the taller warriors. We got face huggers, chest bursters. Sick. These bosses, man. The first one down in the sewers sprouted from some sort of aquatic life. The next boss emerged from the chest of a gorilla. We can even see the poor guy in the background before the fight. The Bat Alien, man. The Queen. Now you're thinking, you're saying things that are exclusively fucking awesome. What do you mean it sucks? It's the gameplay. Have you noticed how much of this footage consists of me standing still and just charging the plasma caster? I'm doing this because it's your only hope. The enemies are faster than you, they pack a way tougher punch, and they can see you from off screen, whereas we can't see anything that's not right in front of our eyes. So keeping everybody away from us is all we can do to survive. Attempting to fight the aliens hand to hand will result in death very quickly. This entire game consists of fighting aliens, and fighting the aliens is not fun. It sucks. Throwing the disc is cool the first time because it's like, I mean, we're the Predator throwing the disc. That's fucking awesome. You would then want the spear to be a melee weapon that offers some sort of reach, right? It doesn't. It's not a melee weapon, it's another projectile, only good for keeping the aliens away. Cloaking, while awesome in theory, breaks the only working strategy. The plasma caster is foolproof because these mindless idiot aliens will just walk directly at you in a straight line over and over. Going invisible means the aliens can't see you. So now they can't line up in a perfect queue to get mowed down with a ranged weapon. Every single aspect of fighting is trash. And in a beat-em-up game, where fighting is kind of all you do, that's a problem. What's hilarious about this whole thing really is that I'm a one-man crew. I decide what I want to cover on this channel, so I brought this on myself. I was really looking forward to this video because I had never played this game before. My brother and I grew up with the Sega Genesis, and Alien vs. Predator didn't release on Sega Genesis. More on that later. I chose to cover this game because I always wanted to play it. It's a 16-bit AVP game, are you kidding? This would be the perfect excuse to not only play it, but write about it, research it, really dive deep into it. And then 15 minutes into playing, I was like, oh, this just isn't very good, is it? How did I not know that this game was a piece of shit? I was really, honestly blown away. I mean, I guess it's similar to the death and return of Superman, in a way. You know me, I'm a massive Superman fan. A 16-bit beat-em-up where Superman, Steel, Eradicator, and Superboy are all playable? That's amazing, right? Wrong. It's too hard. It's ungodly difficult, and there's really no fun to be had when the odds are so stacked against you. Alien vs. Predator isn't really that difficult at all once you recognize there's only one extremely boring path to victory. Tell me this, why is it that I can't pick up health if I'm holding a weapon? Projectiles are finite. If you pick up a weapon and then health drops, you cannot have the health unless you throw all of your weapons away first. Unbelievably bad design. The game isn't even nice to look at. The cutscenes are cool, the Predator and aliens are great, I'm not talking about that. Look at the backgrounds. What the fuck is going on here? This game released in 1993, Dandans. Here's Aladdin, released the very same year. Contra 3 came out in 1992. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, 1991. You see what I mean? AVP's backgrounds just aren't here. They're flat. The colors are ugly. God damn.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
There are really only 6 levels of any consequence here. Some have their own sub-stages. Even with that small of a number, we're still repeating backgrounds. Here's another little tidbit. For a while, I was wondering why there were only ever 2 aliens on the screen at any given point, as that's nothing. Look at Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Look at Streets of Rage 3. Enemies. All over the place. This is the norm. But then I realized that this game cannot have more than 2 aliens on screen, because we can't even deal with these 2 without the shoulder cannon spam. Can you imagine if there were 4 or 5? I did some digging into the game's developer, Jorudan, a Japanese company founded in 1991. Their first release, Imperium, hit the Super Nintendo in November of 1992. It's a top-down shooter. It's pretty. I like the bright colors. Next was Zardion, a side-scroller run-and-gun game where you play as a robot blasting things to hell. Both of these titles released before Alien vs. Predator. Let's jump ahead a year to AVP. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that this is their worst looking game yet, right? What happened? The Japanese and international releases of this game do vary. The most obvious example I can think of is a completely different looking level 3 in the Super Famicom version. A level 3 that is much more appealing to the eye for some reason. And the Predator is orange, which is cool. Here's where things get interesting. It turns out that I'm not the only one who was asking what happened here. A number of people asked that question long before I did. People much more important than I am. A port of Alien vs. Predator was in development for Atari Jaguar. The game released on Super Nintendo, so where's the Sega Genesis version? Both the Jaguar and Genesis ports of AVP were canceled because it was deemed that they did not properly represent the Alien or Predator franchise. I can't point to the story as the culprit. The story is cool. It's simple enough. The blame falls on the gameplay. It sucks. It is what it is. I would say I messed up in doing a retrospective on this game, but you gotta look at the silver lining, you know? I learned a lesson. I probably learned a couple lessons. First off, I learned that this game is bad. But this isn't where Alien vs. Predator games died. Oh, no, 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 no. This was only the beginning. Also in 1993 was Alien vs. Predator: The Last of His Clan on Game Boy. Never played it. The following year, Capcom took the reins and dropped their version of Alien vs. Predator into arcades, and holy shit, this is what I'm talking about. Are you my asshole? Look at this. This is the truth. This is what Alien vs. Predator in the video game realm should be. Holy Christ, you know what? This is why I wanted to make this video. This is what I had in my head. This is what I thought the Super Nintendo game would be like. God damn it. An AVP game did eventually hit the Atari Jaguar. It's a first-person shooter where you can control an alien, a predator, or a space marine. It's dated now, but at the time, this blew people away. I'm not gonna go into every game because honestly there are a ton of them. My brother, who is the biggest Alien and Predator fan I've ever known, was obsessed with Aliens vs. Predator Extinction on the PlayStation 2. A real-time strategy game which once again offers an entire campaign for all 3 avenues. I had 2007's Alien vs. Predator Requiem on PSP. It was a piece of shit. But 2010's Aliens vs. Predator on the PS3 and Xbox 360? Good shit. Not great, but good. And what the hell, I've got to mention it. In 2015, both the Alien and Predator were featured as guest fighters in Mortal Kombat X. Holy hell, we've come a long way, wouldn't you say?
Predator wins. Fatality.
As you might imagine, the 1993 Super Nintendo game I've built this entire video around did not review very well. At all. It was largely considered a disappointment. Not a single one of my friends owned this game when I was a kid. How did this game sell? I have no idea. I'm sorry, I tried looking into it. I got nothing. I even went issue by issue through the 1993 Nintendo Power archives, and the game never once appears in the bestsellers list. Despite being a Super Nintendo exclusive, the game didn't even get a full written review in Nintendo Power. Just a set of middling numbers on the power meter. Meanwhile, ads for Alien 3 are all over the place. How do you like that? Alien vs. Predator on Super Nintendo. In space, no one can hear you scream, huh? Well, they're lucky, because anyone who paid $65 for this game at retail when it released, which is equal to nearly $130 in today's money, kids, they would definitely be screaming. What a disappointment. Oh, there it is, Dan-Dans. That's my retrospective on Alien vs. Predator for the Super Nintendo. Now, I didn't know it was going to turn out like this. I don't like being negative on this channel, but maybe you enjoyed the change of pace. I would like to take a second to give a shout out to longtime Dan Mr. Beef, because this copy of the game came from his collection. Shout out to Mr. Beef, a legend. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, like I mentioned at the top, there are still a number of retrospective goals to unlock on the Patreon support project. Sign up, you can make it possible. If you're already signed up, I appreciate you. I'm very grateful to have you in my corner. I love ya, and I'll see you next time.